You know, one thing I can say about this movie is that it answers a question that has been dwelling in my mind for quite some time.
What is that?
Where were the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on 9/11? Hello everybody and welcome again to Keystone Film Review. We just saw The Meg 2. Not really, we saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, directed by Jeff Rowe and Kyler Spears, written by Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, and others. Those others being Jeff Rowe, Dan Hernandez, Benji Smith, Brendan O'Brien, too many people, based on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman. It is starring, of course, Micah Abbey, Shamon Brown Jr., Nicholas Cantu, Brady Noon, Ayo Edebiri, Maya Rudolph, John Cena, Seth Rogen, Rose Byrne, Natasha Demetriou, Giancarlo Esposito, Jackie Chan, Ice Cube, Paul Rudd, Post Malone, Hannibal Buress. Yeah, this is, God, these are, oh my God, my eyes. Take it away, Glenn.
These things aren't good to see out of. I have to not move my face too much or show any emotion above my nose. This was one of my most anticipated movies. I was pretty hyped for this what's the word? John. I'll go back to Philly. I'll stick with that because bacon, egg, and cheese is my style, but I'd rather have sausage. Anyway.
Never ever had cheesesteak.
Yeah, this was one of my most anticipated movies of this year. I was really hyped for this. And, God, what can I say about all the green, mean little fighting machines? This soundtrack kicked major balls. I'm going to start out with the most positive of it all. I was kicking it. Mike, can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
I cannot kick it.
Yes, you can.
The soundtrack, to step away from the actual movie for a second, was a combination of... this fucking... was a combination of so many different styles of music. It had like 80s and 90s R&B hip-hop. It had like those old console, like TMNT game types, like synth and like soundtracks. Those were really cool. And then it had little kind of meme songs sprinkled in as well. Everything that just kind of fit perfectly with just the overall stature that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Fit better than these masks.
Damn right they do. Yeah. And that was definitely my favorite part about it. I was really excited for the animation style. I'm gonna go blind. The animation style of this. Until I saw all of the humans in this. All of the mutants themselves looked awesome, and then every single human looked like they were drawn by a 5-year-old. Which, that was probably the point. It was probably the point to make the humans look ugly and, you know, not the actual mutants, the actual characters of the movie. But, because April looked fine. She looked normal. But everyone else looked like a Picasso painting. Or, I don't know, who
you got it right. You got it right.
Hell yeah, I'm a genius for once. Everybody looked like a Picasso painting where everyone was deformed as fuck and just looked goofy as hell. Which most times was just hilarious. Because you're like, what the fuck is this? It looks like somebody took a potato and just like molded it and then said, here's my creation. And then the movie itself. What do you have to say a little bit?
I was also excited for this. Obviously, growing up on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I considered myself a Michelangelo growing up. I feel like now I'm more of a Raphael. I'm more cynical and easy to anger. But he claimed it first.
I did.
So, and my name is Michael as well, so I might as well go with Michelangelo.
Mikey gotta be Mikey.
Yes, Mikey. So yeah, I was excited for this, but also wary because, and this movie confirmed it. I feel like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I felt this way with the Michael Bay ones as well. They work better with 90s culture and slang. It feels more natural for them to be saying things like cowabunga and whatever and other 90s slang dope stuff like that. Stupid things that 90s people said when we were but little babes. Why did I just sound like you?
I'm finally wearing up. So many years I've been finally my plan.
So yeah, I feel like it works better with '90s slang and culture. The style. I agree. It was kind of weird and kind of headache-inducing, other than the mutants with all the Picasso type characters, but also interesting in a way. That made it feel grittier, like a grittier New York, and I mean it's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie made for today's kids, which is fine.
They're
but
15 years old in the movie.
Yes, they're 15 years old, which is why we know what they were doing in 9/11. They weren't alive yet. I feel like a lot of people would probably find it cringy. In fact, 3 teenage boys in front of us were talking about how cringy it was the entire time.
Oh my god, they kept like scoffing.
And they
just-
kept doing the can and everything.
Anytime they said Riz or anything that's like of today's terminology.
I learned that that's short for charisma.
You're welcome, society. They just kind of were like,
Yeah.
but they were also just doing shit like this. They kept putting their arms around each
Which
other.
is fine. I
Yeah,
mean,
good for you. Like,
but they were doing it like it was a joke and not because they were just friends.
but like
Friends who loved each other.
Yeah, why don't you touch me more?
Yeah.
They just kept doing it. They were weird
Yeah.
about the whole thing.
But like the movie overall is fine. I feel like as campy and stupid as the plot is of the 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle trilogy, I feel like it works better in that sense. They try to make it too cool, which I feel like camp in the 90s was cool. Camp is no longer cool, and it works better when it's campy, and this was not campy enough. It did have lots of moments that I liked. I liked the mutants in it. I thought they were cool. Why did we decide to do this?
My only flaw with all of the mutants is that who is was it Rocksteady was the Rhino, right? I'm sorry, I don't know.
Bebop
Bebop
is
and
the.
Rock-
I
Bebop?
believe Bebop is the Rhino, and Rocksteady is. I might have that flipped.
Pretty sure Rocksteady's the Rhino.
No, yeah, Bebop is the boar, and Rocksteady is the Rhino. So,
So
yeah,
it
you're
feels like I think John
right. John Cena's
Cena
Rocksteady.
was Rocksteady, and it sounded like they toned his voice down to.
There's
like
no point in having John
a
Cena
deeper
because
octave.
it didn't sound like John Cena.
But they didn't do that to Seth at all.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad Seth's doing a lot of like he's pioneering a lot of these like comic book adaptations, and I'm like super cool with that because he's also helping with Invincible and everything. But he never changes his voice in any way, so it's just Seth Rogen playing all of his characters without trying to change his voice.
Yeah.
All of them. So like they toned down John Cena's for like a lower octave, but it was still just Seth Rogen for his, and that kind of annoyed me a little bit. But
Yeah.
it wasn't that like why not just keep his regular voice, unless he has the power of God and Zeus on his side. Unless he can just naturally do that. Good
I don't
for
think
him.
you can.
I don't think he can.
But yeah, I mean, it's overall it's fine. It's a fine movie. It's not as good as I was hoping it would be. It was pretty funny for the most part. You know, I felt like the 4 performers for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they had good performances, vocal performances, and
I hope this woman's walking directly
oh, she
over
bet.
you.
I hope she's in this Prius here. But
Oh, thank God.
but yeah, they had good chemistry in their performances and everything.
I wish
Jackie Chan as Splinter was a little different, which is fine. I kind of miss the old Splinter, but
this is for a new generation.
yeah, it's
so
a new
whatever.
generation. I like the fact that they made him like very much a dad. In older pictures, he even has like a mustache and a perm. So it's really humorous in that aspect. And I liked
What's weird about that though is like 15 years ago they weren't really still doing that.
Well, I think it's just the joke.
I guess
Yeah.
so.
But yeah, overall, I was disappointed by it, but still enjoyed it, if that makes sense. Just not as much as I was hoping.
I wish some of the voices were swapped. Like I wish Donnie's voice was actually Mikey's.
Because Mikey was smaller.
Yeah, I like Donnie's voice actor, but I wish it was attached to Mikey instead, just because it came out funnier as a voice instead.
Yeah, Mikey didn't really feel like the partier in this one.
Yeah. I wish Raph was a little bit more edgelord, but it's fine.
Instead, they made him like a sociopath almost.
They made him like a roid boy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just like a gym bro, but that's fine.
Leonardo was pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Donatello, other than the voice, was kind of spot on.
The voice wasn't too bad, but it fit more with Mikey's character.
But Mikey and Raph are a little too different for my liking.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I feel like the 90s comes into play better. Like the rude boy, the voice that they gave him in the 90s really worked for Raph, and then like the surfer partier voice really worked for Mikey in the 90s.
But it's a nice change to have them actually played by teenagers.
Yeah, I don't mind the changes. It's just different and not what I was hoping for. It might grow on me. I don't know. But yeah, it just kept reminding me that I'm now almost 34 years old.
I also genuinely like it that fucking Shredder wasn't, like, they didn't just throw Shredder into this movie just because they could.
Yes.
I like that he wasn't the main villain at all.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Yeah, like you just said, overall, kind of disappointed because I had my expectations higher.
Mm-hmm.
That's my own fault.
My eyes.
Yeah, I'm trying not to blink too much. I think the soundtrack was great. I loved the animation, but the humans sucked. Overall, I think it could have been better. And with a sequel that will most likely probably happen, hopefully, fingers crossed.
I'd rather see this.
It improves.
Fast X 2.
What was your favorite Ninja Turtles era? Mine was the animated 2000s, early 2000s cartoon. We
didn't have cable growing up, so I didn't really watch it. But I remember watching the movies when I was a kid, and anytime I went to the roller rink playing the video game, the arcade game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my favorite era.
There you go.
We had cable later on, but like after they stopped airing the Ninja Turtles cartoon, or at the very least something I was more interested in at the time came on. So I would have to say the live action
there you go
films and the arcade games.
All right.
Yes.
Ratings
wise, I'm between a 3 and a 3.5. I'm gonna say 3. Optimistically, maybe it'll be bumped up, but for now I'm gonna say a 3. Did like it, disappointed by it. Maybe repeat viewings will up that a bit, but I'm gonna say 3 for now.
I'm gonna also say 3. I think it would have been a 3.5 if a lot of kind of jokes within it weren't kind of repetitive. We didn't really talk about that.
Yeah.
But a lot of Ice Cube's lines kept repeating. Like, he said "what the hell" like 80 times during his like final like couple scenes. It just, I don't know. It was like could have changed.
Did he also quote an Ice Cube song?
He quoted a Ice-T song.
Oh, okay.
6 in the morning, police at my door.
It's not my kind of music, so I don't know.
Which is, yeah. It was a little repetitive at times, but it was funny overall. I think a 3 is just, I mean, it's still good.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I don't hate it.
No.
I'm optimistic that it will continue to get better if they release more.
I might watch it once other time. That's right. That's a sentence in my life.
Well, yeah. 3s all around. If you saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Mutant Mayhem, tell us what you thought down in the comments. Who's your favorite turtle? And tell us why.
I never took that quiz that actually tells me what mine
It
is.
said that I'm a Leonardo, but I'm not mature enough to be a Leonardo.
Yeah. I've always just blended with Raph more than anybody else. At one point, I liked Mikey a lot, but I didn't have that energy.
Yeah, now that I don't have that energy, I side with Raph a lot more, but Mikey will always hold a special place in my heart, and it's not just because we share an origin of our name.
I just like pizza. I'm glad to be
I brought a pizza into the theater.
He fucking tore it up, too.
I do that with every Teenage
I was
Mutant
ready
Ninja
to
Turtle
fight
movie.
the Trojan War to get that pizza, honestly.
Goodbye, everybody.
Blah, blah.
Oh my god, these fucking...
Oh no, my identity.
Ah!